are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Techgig webinar series. Our endeavor to empower techies. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight on various domains. Today's topic is around Agile Manifesto as it is for successful transformation to agility. And with us, we have today Mr. Falguna Kumar Ramaraju. He is the Agile and Scrum Transformation Coach and Trainer. Falguna is also the founder of Perfornova Solutions, a focused Agile consulting and training organization. He is currently a consulting Scrum coach for BA Continuum India Private Limited, Bank of America, Hyderabad. Falguna is a consulting Agile coach and trainer. Out of his 3 decades of experience in IT, his focus has been Agile for over 9 years. He also served as honorary faculty for the local PMI chapter for project management training for over 6 years. He is one of the first 500 PMI Agile certified professionals and a pioneer in Agile trainings in India. He also trains on PMI Agile certification and training and Scrum training too. So without any further delay, I hand over today's session to Falguna. Over to you, Falguna.
Thank you, Sri Lagna. Thank you very much. And thank you, Techgig, for the great service you are doing to the nation. As Sri Lagna said, I strongly believe in that knowledge transfer is one of the best things that we can ever give to anybody. Please wait, I just shared my screen.
We are yet to see your screen, Falguna.
Yeah.
And also quickly, as we wait for the presentation, this is a quick request for all the attendees to start sending in the questions from 3:30 p.m. And Falguna will be taking in questions for the last 15 or 20 odd minutes. If you have any questions which are left unanswered at the end of the session, we'll be more than happy to take them offline. Falguna will be more than happy to take those questions up over the mail.
I believe the screen is yet to refresh.
Yes. What do you see on the audience view section, Falguna? Do you see your screen there? In the audience view section on your control panel?
You should be able to see now. Is it visible now? Sorry.
It is not yet. Yeah, I can see your screen now. I believe all the attendees can as well. Okay, just to make sure that we are not running too far behind, we can see the Agile Manifesto as it is the first page of your slide.
Thank you very much. Thank you again, Sri Lagna. And thanks again, Techgig. Good afternoon for those of us joining from India. Good morning and good evening for those from the rest of the world. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Today in this webinar, what we'll be covering is, we'll cover what Agile is. Because today a lot of people think Agile is Scrum, things like that. I just wanted to clarify some of the myths that what we have and other misconceptions probably we might have on Agile. We'll also see why Agile, what are the benefits of Agile and the various challenges that what we generally go through during the Agile transformation. I keep using the word transformation. Please remember I'll be elaborating that and the kind of change with respect to transformation as we go by. We'll be covering Agile Manifesto at brief with focus on the values and principles. And also we'll see why change is so difficult for all of us. I'll try my best I assure you, I promise you, I cannot change anybody. But the only thing I can do is I can probably plant the seeds of change and the kind of thinking that help ourselves change throughout this session. Please bear with me on that. And again, we'll be talking about the trust, because we work in teams environment. We need to believe in each other and our abilities collectively. So we'll be focusing on that. I believe out of my endeavor to transfer my agile knowledge, this webinar would help some of us at least. I'm trying to do my best part of the world to contribute to the agile community. Thank you very much. Again, we'll continue further from here. Let's see what agile is in the first place. Let me start with a story that I generally like. Actually, I keep training on agile workshops. Once when I was training, one of my friends met me during the lunchtime. Suddenly, we met about 10 years ago. We literally lost connections. Then we said hi, and then he asked me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm coaching and training in agile." He said, "Oh, that's good." Then he asked, "What is agile?" I do know he has been actually a CXO level person. Then I told him, agile is something like we believe in more in people over processes and tools. We believe in responding to the change of the customers, needs of the change of the customer, to following a plan that what we make, innocently thinking that the plan would work. So that's what I told him, and things of that sort I can explain you in detail later. But here is the concept that agile is basically a mindset and a philosophy. This is what I told him. Then he said, "You know what, Falgun? These philosophies and all do not work in my organization. We are a highly process-oriented organization." I said, "Wow, that's great." Then I asked him only a couple of questions. Who do you think are making these processes? It is the people, right? Who are making the changes to your plans? Who are making changes to your processes? Who are making changes to the tools that we need? Who are identifying the right tools for us? It is the people, right? I don't need to tell anything much than this. Let me say you one simple statement. If the ex-CEO of an organization, if you get a headline news saying like this, if the ex-CEO of the organization is coming back onto the advisory panel of the board of the organization, the share prices shoot up. Oh, that company is still a CMMI level 4 or level 5 company. Why? In one day or two, the levels of certification of CMMI, ISO did not change, but the share prices increased overnight. That is the people what we are talking about. Oh, he's the kind of convincer then. Then when I said again, you know what, the philosophy that what you believe, currently what you are doing, that people will be working in the process tracks that what you create, is the other side of the philosophy. Oh, then he probably appreciated me when he said, but you know what, where the process, these philosophies and all do not work. Literally, he looked at me as if I'm a cockroach. But we became again connected, and he attended my workshops too, by the way. Thank you very much for listening to that story. We'll continue that. So the moment somebody hears that, oh, is that philosophy? Please understand that everything in this world is philosophy. We trust each other. The philosophy there is defined processes. Defined processes probably will work for construction industry, some other kind of a turnkey project, but software is different. Software is empirical process. Empirical process means we experiment, learn, try the best. We keep on working among ourselves for the best results to deliver the value to the customer. That's what we're talking about. Agile helps us to get there, and to get there, we all need to work little harder than what currently we are doing. It's not really hard as such. Just change your thinking, change our thinking. That's what we are, that's what my endeavor is at the end of this webinar. We all should be looking at least, to think of changing. So, when I say Agile, this is a standard definition generally we come across. Agile is a philosophy that uses organization models based on people, collaboration, and shared values and beliefs. When we talk about shared values and beliefs, it is the culture literally what we are talking about. People can make any kind of culture if they wanted to. So it's more of a mindset. The moment we see that, oh, many people think that Agile doesn't have processes, Agile doesn't have, a plan. That's not true. Agile has excellent processes, excellent plans in place. Only thing is, in the real world, the plans are difficult to make, at least for the long-term plans. Short-term plans work better for us because we can foresee things to only a certain extent. Had I known, for example, that the dollar rate will go up to 60 plus as of today, 6 months ago, I could have invested a lot of money probably and could have retired by the day today. Probably you would not be listening to this webinar. I'm just kidding. Thank you. So it's a mindset. That's what I'm trying to talk about. All Agile frameworks follow the Agile Manifesto. Agile Manifesto is talking about the philosophy. The philosophy is nothing but the values, philosophical values. All Agile frameworks, which we'll be talking in the next coming up slide, use adaptive planning, iterative and incremental planning. They all work toward rapid change, following rapid change, and they're going to be very flexible, responding to the change requests that we get from the customers. And of course, individuals who work in those projects environments constantly interact for better results. That is what is the teamwork we are talking about in Agile, which is difficult for most of us to get. But my endeavor at the end of this webinar is to give some knowledge on that for all of us. So when I said earlier, Agile and Scrum, please do understand that okay, I'm just holding, I believe the screen is not refreshed yet. Okay, I will still continue. I believe you are able to see the screen now. You're looking at the various Agile frameworks. All these come under the umbrella of Agile. So when somebody says Agile, by default we are talking about the mindset under which all these frameworks, methods and methodologies do work together. Again, now we need to understand a simple concept here. A framework, a method and methodology. If you see, a framework is a hollow pathway that you can use anywhere. For example, Scrum is a great and beautiful framework that is very, very easy to understand. Even a 3-year-old kid can understand. That is why Scrum has become very, very popular. I would say one of the first reasons. Scrum is extremely difficult to implement. Why? Because we are believing in more people here. We are believing in, more on people and their mindset. If people do not change their mindset, most of these Agile frameworks do not work. That's why we get to be a little careful about those during the Agile transformation and see the various dynamics of the people who are working with us in the teams and within the organization. So to just brief, out of all these frameworks which you are seeing here, framework is a pathway. By the way, Scrum is a framework, whereas extreme programming, we can call it as a methodology. The reason I say is, the fact is that Scrum is a framework. It doesn't have any practices and the processes clearly defined how to handle the real-time workplace environments. That's why we call it a framework. Whereas extreme programming is a method or methodology as such, where you have the processes, practices, and the activities in place for us. So it's a complete set of methodology defined clearly. So Scrum is framework, extreme programming is a methodology. We can see from from that perspective. Let's talk about a little bit about process control. I was earlier talking about defined process and empirical process, right? Defined process is a defined process model. In defined process model, we think that everything can be really estimated, planned upfront, and then probably we will try to follow that. Whereas empirical process, we frequently inspect and adapt to the changes that are needed for the process and constantly keep on perfecting them. That is the key essence there. So in essence, empirical process is different, and software works for for all the time. Software works best for empirical process, using empirical process, because software is a creative work than a regular engineering kind of a work. Let's see for a minute why Agile works. Software development, as I said, is empirical process using transparency, inspection, and adaptation as three legs of it. Transparency, when we say everything that is being done on the project is visible to everybody on the project. Unlike in waterfall, only few of the seniors or the managers and the team leads level people most of the time would be knowing what is going on in the project, and all the other people might be wondering what is going on, right? In Agile, everybody knows what is going on in the project. We frequently inspect and make sure that we adapt to the changes that are needed to make sure that we get the value delivered to our customers. Why Agile works? Look at the results. For example, I'm not talking out of the air. Look at the results. This is from a respected group, Standish Chaos group. Standish Agile Chaos Manifesto, they call it, okay, Chaos report, where they clearly said that projects are successful like this. In Agile, we have around 42% of the projects successful. In Waterfall, 14% only successful. When they say it's success, it's completed on time, on budget, and with all the features. Then challenger projects have some variation from what has been originally expected as the project's objectives. Failed projects are either cancelled or middle. You can see the number of projects that Agile has in terms of the success. Agile is successful because of many things, like visibility. There are tens of reasons why Agile would be successful. You see the visibility, everybody knows what is going on in the project. Everybody can give the feedback and inputs to the projects. Adaptability, we keep on constantly adapting to the changes that are needed. And business value is delivered from the very beginning because we prioritize features and work basing on them, and as the value has been perceived by the customer. A risk has been mitigated from the project from the very beginning, so risk is minimized as we go by, unlike in Waterfall Me. So if a top management person asks how Agile helps me, here are things. We continuously innovate on the current customers' requirements. At the same time, we adapt to the changes that are needed on the product, and we help the market reachability to the customers to make sure that they get the return on investment. Of course, people and processes also are changed constantly for good, for better results. And at the end, we make good business results. There is this extract which you are going to see now is from a report, that annual state of agile development survey by version 1, a company which is providing agile tools. So here the results you see, the ability to manage changing priorities, that is where agile helps us. Increase productivity, improve project visibility, things of that sort. Let's look at the challenges that what we have in agile. So see, most of the challenges, if you see, which are earmarked in red, they are all related to people. Tools never fail. It's the people who make them fail. That's what is the belief we all got from Deming, right? It is a fact. Let's look at this slide, which talks about the various reasons why the adaptation to the agile failed. I personally do not advise to use the word adaptation for the key reason that we'll be covering soon. So all these do boil down to just people related things. So having said that, agile is dealing with the three dimensions of the project: the technology, the requirements, and people, wherein people are considered the complex things. And of course, organization is made up of people. That's what we are trying to cover today. If you look at again the knowledge of agile for the people, there are very little people who know about agile in an organization. This is the survey again talking about. The Scrum Master level people are the people who know little about agile, but not others. That is the kind of situation that alarming the agile industry today. The agile community should be really serious about it and make sure that the knowledge is transferred to all the people who are on the project. Let's look at the Agile Manifesto. This is an extract in the form of a picture from agilemanifesto.org. I'm not sure how many of us have been through this agilemanifesto.org. This is a simple no-nonsense site wherein you can find out all the basic information about Agile. We will be covering a little about this, which is very interesting for most of us. 17 proponents met together to make this manifesto way back in 2001. We'll be covering the brief of it. Agile Manifesto is the philosophy that guides us basically to consider on few things. Let us look at each one of them. First of all, I would like to request you to focus on the last line before we come to any conclusions. The intention of the Agile Manifesto is to promote the items on the left-hand side, but at the same time consider the value involved in the items on the right-hand side. That means we are not talking about anything but the word over here. Individuals and interactions over processes and tools. Working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, responding to change over following a plan. In Agile, we have plans, we have processes, we make excellent documentation. We do collaborate with the customer and ensure that the intent of the contract is best delivered in the interest of both the parties. That is what is Agile we are talking about. Please remember the word over here. Most of the time people are interpreting this word over to instead of, in lieu of, something like that. Please be aware that it is talking about over. Okay, over means we are going to put people before the processes. You can say something like that, but not instead of. So in Agile we have processes very much. Let's talk about little about why this processes and why not? Let's talk about from the bottom up. Following a plan. As we already discussed that plans are our perceptions that the things would work this way basing on the information, facts, and other material that what we have currently on hand. And we try to follow those plans. Those plans might work for other industries, but not for software development. Software development is more of a creative art than, that works for a defined process like, the turnkey project or so. So that's what we are trying to cover here. Let's look at the in detail. As I was talking about already, it is the people that make the software. So we need to understand that it is the people who identify the scope. It is the people who negotiate on various things, whether it is the features or the contracts or whatever we are talking about in terms of the project. And if the people have the right attitude and mindset, they can get the results for us. It is the people who give us the information on the acceptance criteria, for example. So it is the people who follow discipline. That's what the kind of people we are talking about here. That's why we put people before the processes. Whether processes, whether there or not, if the person is good, if they have a strong team player, they would be able to deliver. Right? That's what we keep hearing, that great processes and average people would not guarantee you results. But great people and average processes definitely give you results. That's what is the point we're trying to put. It's important that we motivate all the individuals who are working on our projects, help them intensify the interactions, foster the interactions among them so that they can understand the needs of the customer and the stakeholders and definitely deliver the best results. It's important that the individuals and interactions is the one that actually makes the software. We might see the tangible code and the designs and other things that what we see in the software at the end of the project as a product or as a tangible asset, but in fact it is the individuals and the interactions that they make on the project that is ultimately making the software. That's what we are talking about, the communication. Working software is what the customer is looking for, not anything below that. Okay, that is the thing that that is the essence of our duty on the project. So when we say that, always we remember that it is working software, that what we need to make, not anything but. But in Agile we do documentation too. What kind of a documentation? The documentation like specification by example, the documentation like the acceptance criteria in a form that can be easily automatable. In a form that can be easily automatable so that that mundane repetitive job of regression testing kind of a job or unit testing again and again as and when some change is made, we are running these automated tests instead of putting our cream of the brain. Our brains are made best to use elsewhere, not to repeat the same job again and again. We do best documentation in Agile. So that is what the documentation is. If the documentation is necessary to the customers, we always do the documentation, we always use the processes to the extent needed. It does not mean that we would not be doing documentation in Agile. Customer collaboration is important than the terms on the contract and various other things on the contract side. We get to be flexible to cooperate with the customers on their dynamic changing needs. We know the world is changing fast. We see a cell phone every other, every quarter a new cell phone we see. Technology is changing, people's needs are changing, industry is changing. We need to make sure that we cater to those changes to the customer, and the intent of the contract is to deliver what the customer wants for the competitive advantage that the customer wants and the business. And let the customer stay competitive. That is the objective of collaborating with the customer. Everybody on the team in Agile would need to collaborate with the customers, like the product owners or product owner representatives, subject matter experts, kind of people, so that we get all the information in time. Within the team members do understand this and ask questions to the customer people. So we are talking about the last value, fourth value of Agile. These value statements again are the philosophy we are talking about here. The reality. Change is the reality. We all know that the world is changing. Unless we follow the world, it's very difficult to satisfy the customer. The world of change, I mean. Embrace the change by adapting various we use adaptive planning or responsive planning in Agile. That way we reflect and improve constantly. We deliver the intent of the contract using these changes that what we need to make on the projects. Let's look at various principles. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous releases. It is a valuable software that the customer is looking for. If you look at a typical waterfall project, the entire 6 months, 9 months, or whatever it is, whatever time it is, we call it work in progress, right? Work in progress is nothing but the blocked inventory. It doesn't add any value to anybody, neither the customer nor us. It does not guarantee the return on investment to the customer. Work in progress. Agile delivers fast, early, right? So having said that, it is a valuable software that the customer really expects. We do welcome changes even late in development. Agile process harness change to the customer's competitive advantage. We do honor late breaking changes too, so that we guarantee that the customer would get the requirements in form of working software that even if there is a change, the customer can ask us and we will be doing that on time. We make sure that we deliver working software frequently in smaller iterations, smaller time scale, from couple of weeks to couple of months, with preference to a shorter time scale. Why do we need to deliver frequently? And what we need to do for delivering frequently? We need to deliver frequently because customers need them for their business advantage. In order for us to deliver frequently, we need to be prepared. For example, like we need to have a continuous delivery in place, continuous integration in place, and make sure that we are continuously integrating the software that is tested and readily usable by the customer, feature by feature. We complete the whole feature and deliver that in a working software. Here what we are talking about is a feature in its full usable condition. Not just the design documents, not just the plan documents alone. Business people and developers must work together daily during the project. Why? Because we need to get a lot of information from the customers so that we make sure that we help build the software for the customer. Business, build projects around motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust in them to get the job done. This principle is guiding us to make sure that we, in the work environment in Agile industry, make sure that we support the teams and trust in them and help them build the software with a peaceful mindset. The most efficient method of conveying information to and within the development team is face-to-face communication. When we talk about this, face-to-face communication gives us a lot of tacit knowledge, and information is available for all of us just like that, because we are all close by, co-located teams. We'll get information very quickly, and that information, and also we have the behavioral understanding of the people. Agile processes promote sustainability. Working software is the primary measure of progress. It is working software that the customer is looking for, not anything but that. Working software, I would say, is the goal. Like in a soccer match, we talk about the goals, right? It is the goals what we are talking about. Rest of the thing all is commentary. Customer is waiting for that working software. Agile process promotes sustainable development, sponsors developers and use constant pace. This is what we will be talking about when we say we have teams that are working on the software. So make sure that the teams will not overburn, and then ensure that we iteration by iteration we plan it well and make sure that we have the teams understanding the requirements in terms of the, say, the sprint planning we do, sprint reviews we do, sprint retrospectives we do. So that kind of information is what we are talking about here. Sustainable development means that we make sure that the teams will not overburn. We make sure that the teams would work at a pace so that we groom the product backlog and other things that are needed for us, so that we take up those works immediately when they are available. Continuous attention to technical excellence is important so that we can enhance the agility. What is technical excellence here? Technical excellence, we are talking about the designs, understanding the structure of the code, and things of that sort. That is very important for the team members to focus. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the work not done. Here what exactly we are talking about is make sure the things are done in a simple way such that we would not be over-engineering too much. That way, in other ways, simple. One second. Sorry. Simplicity here, what we are talking is, be simple. Design should be simple. And simple code that works for now, simple structure that works for now, and then ensure that we will not be doing analysis paralysis kind of things where we spend most of the time for no good reason. That's not a value add for the project. So we make sure that, for example, Lean talks about defer commitment, postpone things until the last responsible moment. Right? The best architectures and requirements and designs emerge from self-organizing teams. Self-organizing teams will be covering this soon. Self-organizing teams are nothing but teams that they are not depending on the management for instructions, but however they are under the control of the management. At regular intervals, the teams reflect on how to become more effective, and then tune and adjust their behavior accordingly. This is what we do part of our retrospective. So every time we make sure that these retrospectives are objectively done and moderated by the Scrum Masters. Sorry, somebody. Okay, before we make sure that we transform to agility, we should be clear on a few things. What is the current organization culture in my organization? How well is our current culture aligned to Agile? And we need to make sure that we address these if any problems do come here. Okay, let's talk for a minute on what culture is. Culture is what binds us together. We work together and share common values, beliefs, and behaviors that basically we use to get things done, right? So that's, in order for us to build the right culture, we need to believe in values, whatever culture it is. in Agile, we are talking about those 5 values we spoke about. Culture is nothing but quest to coexist in this world as a team among all the teams that what we have. That's what we're talking about. Agile culture is a mindset, a disciplined mindset to collectively deliver products and services as a team, together as a team. Let's look for a minute what an organization is. An organization is a learning network of people. That's what we're talking about. Team means here collection of individuals that work together for the common objective. That's what we call it. No group ever becomes a team until it can hold itself accountable as a team. Teamwork is an individual skill. That's what we're talking. Agile is a mindset. Currently, what we call ourselves as managers need to become leaders. Okay. Here is what I would like to say. An organization can transform to the extent that the people in that can undergo a transformational change. Let's look at what is change. Change is defined in the wiki as the process to become something different, right? So believe change is not free, it causes pain. Change needs a constant learning mindset. Change is not easy as such. People do resist being changed. Okay, let me take a sip of water. A little thirsty. Thank you. Why people do resist change? Because change is emotional. Change is considered emotional, and we all need to make sure that we exercise the required amount of emotional intelligence. Somehow I went through this emotional intelligence as such, and I found that just people exercising emotional intelligence as such would add value to others. But when we look about change, let us see what change is from the perspective of transformational change. Change we call developmental change. That is what is the basic change most of the organizations do. Transitional change is different. In transitional change, we might not change much from where we are in terms of people. When we talk about people, we need to make sure that we transform the mindset of the individuals and people such that we get the results. Transformation, look at this. For example, transformation is like what the butterfly comes from the caterpillar cocoon and it becomes transformation. That is what we are talking about, transformation here. Most of us do use the words adoption and the change in terms of transition. Those changes would not guarantee us mindset change. Each one of us need to transform so that we can transform others too. That's what is the change we are talking about here. That's why change is considered emotional. Each one of us need to make sure that we do understand the needs of others and think in those perspectives. Only then we can bring the change. I brought in a concept here called the feeler. Each one of us need to exercise our emotional intelligence. In addition to that, there's moral intelligence and spiritual intelligence that what we need to ensure that also works in sync with emotional intelligence. That way, we build the results so that we understand the customer's need, others' needs also. It is not that we always think from our perspective. Like, for example, give up. Okay, it's okay, let's forget about it and then continue. Things of that sort. So when we talk about developing people, we need to understand that we listen to others, we make sure that we are silent. Focus is very important. Continuous, focus on the software development by the team members is very, very critical for our success. Take notes when it is needed. Paraphrase and make sure that we all understand that we are in a learning mode. Okay, why do people change? Let us see that. People are in a comfort zone, then they would not like to change. That's one reason. And then sometimes people do not understand that they are part of the team, but they're not involved. They would start really saying, no, I'm not interested. Fear of uncertainty, something would happen, what will happen to me, where do I stand? Fear of failure is another reason that we might do it or not. Lack of confidence to learn, complete, and things of that sort would help. I mean, we make sure that lack of confidence and competence make sure that people, fail. So we need to give up that, and loss of control over the territory is another reason to see. If you put all our principles, agile principles under various cultures, our culture comes in collaborative culture, cultivative culture, competitive culture, and control culture. What collaborative culture is, people work collaboratively in there, and the competitive culture gives us the technical excellency, and cultivative culture is let's learn and grow together. That kind of a culture we need to bring in. I'm more used to face-to-face, and kind of, I do not have anybody here in front of me. That I'm a little different. Okay, let's look at how we really go about transformation for the next couple of minutes, and then I would go through some questions. Being agile and doing agile are the two things we need to understand. We all start with an agile approach, either Scrum or Kanban or Lean, whatever it is, and then start using it. Doing agile means basically following the practices. We do very little when we are doing agile. Being agile is the most important thing, that what we would focus. For example, various meetings that what we do, like these planning meetings, retrospection meetings, product backlog refinement meetings, engineering practices, all these come under like the test-driven development, acceptances-driven development. All these come under the doing agile, wherein we are simply following practices. By just doing agile, we would not be getting into a mode of good transformation. Being agile is the most important thing, that what we are talking about here. To start that, let's say we start we plan a transformation. We make sure that we have the right leaders identified. Management is, we make sure that everybody understands that the restructuring would happen. Select initial teams, that's what we need on the project. Address individuals' concerns if we have any. A lot of people do think that, oh, what is going to happen to me after this agile transformation? Would I be okay with my job? Things of that sort. We need to address them. If it is needed, have one-on-one meetings with the teams and all. Involve everybody in them as the participatory decision model, in the participatory decision model techniques. Make sure that everybody is motivated, empowered, energized, and then plan any training and coaching related things that are needed on the team. Hiring is another important thing that is done by the management and the business. We get teams, and again make sure that we understand that there is likely going to be an attrition. So form various practices, community of practice, and then within that make sure the people understand and learn and help agile transformation. When we talk about culture, collaborative culture in detail, this is what you can see. Collaboration happens when we have a common goal set for us. Everybody needs to understand the sense of purpose and shared responsibility that what we do. Everybody on the team needs to feel that they are respected. People are from different communities, different cultures, different religions, different regions. They would have a lot of thoughts and all. Understand that we can enjoy those unique perspectives of them. And then trust. Trust is another thing that what we talk about. Collaboration happens when we have cooperation. Cooperation happens when we have trust. How do we build trust? We'll be talking about that in a bit. So cultivation is everybody's responsibility. We make sure that we learn and grow as a team collectively. How do we build high performance teams? High performance teams have characters, committed to team success. They're self-organizing. The constant constructive disagreement, if there is any difference, they would agree it amicably among themselves. They are empowered. Let's talk a bit on the high performance. We all need to make sure that whatever values we wanted to focus period by period, we use them as the roots and then constantly focus on them such that each one of us collaborate to make sure that we ensure that the high performance tree constantly gives us the fruits in terms of our teams delivering the value for the customer. Trust, I would call trust as the glue that bonds us together. Trust is the glue that bonds us together. It is the essential element that we all need to focus. Trust, once it is broken, it can never be restored. The glue I'm talking about is this: integrity, reliability, value that we give to each other person, and then communicate in such a way that we understand the needs of others and seek feedback and use that feedback to develop ourselves and let others also develop. That's, the glue is very, very important. When we talk about the trust, we need to make sure that we understand each one of these. Do self-assessments and then understand the problems that what we come across and apply force field analysis. I think I'm good there. Can we go with some questions?
Hi Falguna, I have assigned you a couple of questions. I think around 6 questions I have assigned. We have around 7 minutes for the presentation for the entire session to get over. See if you can take more questions. Let me know once you're done with the 6 questions.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. How does the Agile help in transitioning means to say any live example? Okay, thank you for the question. Agile helps us to get the value for the business. It helps us to deliver on time to the market. It helps us to our team members to grow together and understand the needs of the organization and the project as well. Transitioning, yeah, as I said, transitioning does not necessarily guarantee transformation of the individuals and the teams. Transformation is what we're talking about, people growing with the mindset of Agile. Transition is only taking us to a new state that what we planned and does not guarantee any change in a people mindset. So if you're talking about transformation here, then I think it is a B. Okay. Yeah, well, if you're talking about transformation here, it helps to produce results to a great unknown state.
Falguna, could you mention the name of the person before you read out the question, please?
I am not able to see here. How do you see that?
You will be able to see the name of the person right next to the question.
Oh, okay.
So the question that you took right now, the attendee's name is Piyush Aluwalia.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm Piyush, right? Yeah. I think sorry, I'm not able to see the name here. Am I missing something?
Not a problem. Read out the next question. Let me see which question you're taking up next.
I can undock this, you said, right?
Yes. Please undock the pane.
Okay. Thank you. I'm going to. My apologies. There's a lot of funk. I don't know. It happened suddenly like that. Sorry about that. I'm more used to face-to-face conversation. That's what made. That's what Agile made me. How Agile help in project planning? Yeah, project planning in Agile. We generally make. We understand the requirements. We collect the requirements in the form of requirements gathering and put the plan into various releases, and each release we make into different sprints or iterations.
Do you see the names right now, Falguna?
Yeah, Amit Vyas. Amit Vyas.
Okay.
Are
yes.
there services software available with which can help implement Agile in project management? There are softwares and tools available in Agile, but they are not for transformation as such. They don't help. The tools will help us to put the plans in place, like for example, user stories and kind of the tools that what we put in, that the specification by example.
Your voice is breaking up a little, Falguna. If you could quickly check your audio setting.
Yeah. What is the exact difference between that? How Agile help in planning? Are there any software services available in which you can implement Agile in project management? There are various tools that are there in the commercial tools in the market, free tools in the market which we can use to deliver an Agile project. What is the exact difference between iterative software development and Agile software development? All Agile frameworks, as I said in the beginning, use iterative and incremental approach. For example, Lean and Kanban out of them do not use iterative. Sorry?
I'm sorry, Falguna, to cut you in between. Your voice quality is not clear. I'm not being able to understand while you're reading out the answer. Yeah,
okay.
There's a lot of disturbance. I can hear you, but it's not streaming properly. It's breaking up in between. Make sure that you have. Make sure that the other browsers, everything is. You have turned off all other browsers and applications on your computer.
Okay, I close now. Outlook is a heavy consuming.
You have you have a lot.
I will read the next question. I'll read the next question.
Please.
Between in Agile team, who is responsible for potentially shippable increment, failure, or sprint goal, and the individuals have their competencies and technical excellencies. So why doing appraisal? if the team or individuals, because Agile don't talk about individuals. See, individuals need to be motivated. They need to be paid based on their experience in the industry. And it does not mean just because we pay individuals, it does not mean that why we need to pay individuals. They need to get paid. They need to be motivated. Right? Then what in your opinion is a better approach in transforming to Agile, top down or bottom up? Agile works, transformation works best when we do bottom up, as well, top down. It is everybody's responsibility to make Agile succeed. It's not one-sided at all. A lot of collaboration is needed. How does Agile help in transitioning? To say any live example. I believe Piyush, I read that. Makaran, that's what I meant to say when we talk about Agile transformation, the top down, bottom up, it is both. Then how does Agile help in transitioning? I think we went to this previous question. We have Subramanian. Hi Falcon, I see your presentation is I belong getting into the transition phase. Can you please clarify what happens with the CMMI documents when we go through in Agile? See, CMMI documents, Agile by default helps up to CMMI level 3, level 4. Most of the Agile processes we use are helpful to get through the CMMI. And any gaps that what we have from the existing documents, we need to change to the Agile. So the documents would be there. See, Agile supports CMMI. We can all use the same document. By default, the daily stand-up meeting to the release planning meeting we do from top up, all of them would help us to continue as it is, and they can be converted into the document which supports CMMI. What if the other team is not bored with us competitively and still following some basic form of waterfall like project manager or scrum masters or scrum masters? This is basically the cultural issue here. People, the project managers need to be changing to the leaders. Leaders are the people who influence others than persuading them. Managers need to turn to leaders. So, okay, other team is not bored with us completely and still following some basic form of waterfall like. See, waterfall using along with Agile does not give value. If you want real benefits of, if we need real benefits of Agile, we need to make sure that we make sure that, all people on the Agile teams understand the Agile mindset. That is very critical. Support that mindset and follow. Can project manager be able to, again, Srikant, or can project manager be able to manage Agile methodology, or he needs training? Essentially, Agile needs an understanding of the mindset first, and then the kind of engineering practices on that, which extreme programming, for example, gives, along with the for software development especially. We need to understand them in order for us to implement Agile. They need to understand the basic training. What are all the metrics that can be used in Agile? Various metrics in Agile like cycle time we can use. Then we can use the velocity, of course, cannot be used as a metric to compare other teams, but velocity for the same team we can use to compare the progress that the team can make. Project the progress that the team can make, And we also use, earned value we can do in Agile. At the same time, we use escape defects as how many defects that went out of our hands to the customers. Right?
Falguna, request you to take up one more
Next
question.
Yeah.
One last question.
Sure. Thanks. I think we are done with one question. Who is responsible for potentially shippable increment? Who is responsible? In fact, team is responsible collectively to deliver. And of course, at the end of the day, it is the product owner, if we are talking about Scrum, the product manager, if we are talking about the extreme programming, usually take the responsibility for the about not delivery, because they are in constant touch with the team. It is collectively the team is responsible. It's not talking about individuals. We cannot hold individuals responsibility. That's what self-organizing is. The teams work together to ensure that they deliver. I think we are good here. My apologies. Somehow I couldn't make this great, I know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Falguna. With that, we come to the end of today's session. I do understand that we had a lot of transmission problem today, both audio and video. So my apologies. We'll try to upload the recording on techgig.com today, and those who joined in today's session a little later, you can log into www.techgig.com and go through the recorded video. There are around 10 or 12 odd questions which Falguna couldn't answer because we have run out of time.
Which ones are those? I'm not able to see here.
I will send you those questions offline, Falguna. Okay. I haven't assigned you more questions because we have run out of time. So if you're comfortable, you can share your email ID directly with the attendees, or else they can send in the questions to us, and we'll send it back to you.
Sure. Yeah, my email ID is falguna@yahoo.com. That's my first name.
We can also see another email ID, falguna@parfonova.com. So request all the attendees to share your questions with Falguna and take them offline. Thank you so much once again for all your support and making this webinar a great success. Thank you so much, Falguna, for taking time out and taking the attendees through your insightful presentation and taking up the questions. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. And again, I felt I didn't do it well somehow. It's a long time I did a webinar as such, but I missed that opportunity. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you all for attending.
Thank you, Falguna. Thank you.